all in all, after that month, we did get a $6,600 US deal, and it was $6,400 cash collected after the fees, after everything like that. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my 6-month honest review on running an AI agency. Now, I know I posted my 3-month review around a month ago, but I just hadn't had the time. This is actually my 6th month. I look back into my records and actually started this on March 3rd. So this, September 3rd will be my 6th month. I'm going to give an honest review on it. So basically, if you guys haven't seen my last video I touched on basically the challenges behind closing. I had a client, the fulfillment was way harder than I expected, which I was completely new to this and I did kind of expect. But regardless, all in all, I really like the AI agency side of this. So in the past 3 months, what has differentiated me? First off, I'll touch on my previous 3 months. So what had happened is I'd started doing HVAC, and I'd started running and creating YouTube videos specifically for HVAC. So some examples of that, and I'll actually link my business channel. It'll look something like this. And I started making videos specifically showing how I would create these AI systems for an HVAC owner. I got a lot of traction on my videos, and I'm still posting to this day. This is more of my business profile now as it's grown into this. But within that, I was getting around, 1,000 views per video, which was really good. And there was a couple videos that I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was pretty new to content creation on this side of it. But from some help on members of my community, which I am a part of, I was able to scale up, and it was around 1,000 views per video. Now, all within that, I got one client through my YouTube channel, and that was the $1,000 guy that I did end up closing. We were doing a solar, and we were working on the fulfillment from that side. After that, I tried to launch ads, but the ad creatives I had made they weren't necessarily bad, but just my structure and how I set up my Facebook ads and the way that it went down was not effective. And I didn't really know this. I mean, I knew this, but I didn't really know how to fix it at the time. So then I ended up working, and that was my 3 months. So now from my 3 month to my 6 month and my whole 6-month journey, from like my 4 month to my 6 month, I had really understood all of the systems. So I understood how to hook up the AI automations, how to create the callers, how to create everything and hook it up automatically. Now I just needed to be able to close, because my close rate was horrendous. As I talked about in the last video, I closed one guy out of 10, 20 calls. It was not good at all. I was literally just reading a script word for word. I wasn't speaking confidently. I was literally I would watch some of my videos and I would literally read word for word. I was like, and a lot of people, they don't tend to, be serious with this, and we're just not looking to work with people like that. At the end of the day, I want to know if you're serious. Like, it was so obvious that I was reading off a script. And I didn't know that about sales, right? So during that area, I ended up working with someone within my community, and I hired him on as a consultant. So I paid him a little bit of money per month, and basically what he did is he ran all my ads for me, and he helped me with sales, because at the end of the day, I was terrible at sales, and I really wanted to help with sales. And I didn't want to be spending, $5,000 on a Jeremy Miner course, which, at the end of the day, I hate spending money on courses, but if you find the right course with the right value, it's not a waste of money. And I know that it has such a negative connotation online. And I'm telling you, 90% of them are, but there are 10% that are still good. So I was looking at the Jeremy Miner, and then I ended up finding this guy. He was pretty good at sales. Now, his approach to it was very, everyone has their own different closing style. He was very, not necessarily aggressive, but just right to the point, right? He was like a logic-based setter, especially on B2B. You want to focus more on logic, not necessarily on emotion. One thing I learned, and in this time I learned a lot about sales, B2C, which is business to customer closing, you want to focus on the transformation. On B2B, you want to focus on the logic and the ROI behind that. So this guy was a lot into that, but he was really cold. I wouldn't say cold, but he was really to the point. So there were a few deals that we lost simply because of that. We had another setter that was actually from his network that came on and was helping us. Now, he was like the exact opposite of the other guy. He was super bubbly, he was really talkative, and there were a couple times that was actually the vice. So I had both ends of both, spectrums of closing, and I was able to see that for myself. Now, in that month that I was working with that guy, we ended up getting around 30 calls that month, right? So we had like a 50% no-show rate, which was unfortunate, but industry standard, it is 50%. Now, I know that there are ways that you can reduce that, and I would be 100% willing to put that work in. But at the stage we were at that point, we were having like a 50% no-show rate, but we were getting a lot of calls. I know there was a Monday, Tuesday where we had 13 calls lined up. I think only 7 of them showed up, but regardless, 13 calls in 2 days, right? Even if you close, 20% of them, that could have been an easy 15, 20K day. Now, unfortunately, we closed one person out of those 30 people. Now, I honestly don't know where the main problem lied. With my consultant that I was hiring, he had a really, not necessarily cocky attitude, but it was his way or the highway, and he knew everything. Now, if you have a 5% close rate, you don't know everything. And after the first month of working with him, I decided to drop him. He was running my ads really well, and we were getting a lot of calls, but none of these people were converting. And at the same time, he would not listen to any of the recommendations that I was giving him. So I stopped with that guy. All in all, after that month, we did get a $6,600 US deal, and it was $6,400 cash collected after the fees, after everything like that. So that was really good, right? I live in Canada. I had like an $8,000 Canadian day. I make that in, 3 months of my job. That's ridiculous, right? Like, that's life-changing money. Well, not necessarily life-changing money, but it's definitely a start of something that I could have progressed into, and I'm still trying to progress into, to ultimately quit my job and have that time freedom and that location freedom online. Now, after this, there was a lot of personal stuff going on, right? As it's summer, I ended up going to Jasper a couple weeks. There's some videos, me cliff jumping, stuff like that. And with my job, I'm working Monday to Thursday, 7 to 5. So pretty much all my day throughout the week is shot, especially if I want to go to the gym. It's completely shot. And I go to bed early every single night. I'm actually going to make a video on how I actually wake up every single day, regardless of how early it is, if I set an alarm. So I wasn't able to get a lot of stuff done within that time. So I kind of took a step back, not a step back in a way where I'm like repositioning myself, because I still do want to continue with this, and I still am. But I took a step back, and I was just looking at more of the grand scheme of things, more of the long term. Now, in months like 3 to 4, or from months like 1 to 4, I would say I was more in the short term game of just trying to quit my job, right? I was trying to make at least $5,000 per month for a couple months continuously. So I was able to quit my job. Now, that didn't happen, and truly the processes that I've seen work throughout this, right? Through content, through ads, through closing, through the processes of like the sales process itself, to maximize the chance of people converting and booking into, just a client. There's a lot behind that, and I really want to learn that whole process. Now, at the end of the day, I do still want to quit my job, but back to the AI agency part of this, there's a lot to learn. It's not just AI, right? It took me maybe 2-3 months to learn all about the AI. All of this is agency. This whole AI agency, 85% of this whole business model is agency, right? It's not just AI. Now, taking a step back, I was looking for basically just ways of acquisition for my AI agency. Now, ads and content were big things throughout that, and I wanted to create a community, right? I didn't have any sort of low ticket offer, and I didn't just want to create this low ticket offer just because everyone's selling info online, which I mean is a reason, right? Because you see people like Leah Motley, you see people like I forget what the guy is. He's this Asian guy, but they have over 150,000 people on their school communities just about AI automation, right? Stuff I know how to do, stuff I could do if I created a community and I built that following. So I'm focusing a lot more on the following. And within that, I ended up partnering with a person in my community. And this guy's a killer. Like, this guy, he doesn't have any money. because, you know, he's not doing a job, but he has so much time and he's locked in all the time. And he is very knowledgeable in content, very knowledgeable in AI and in the systems surrounding that. And so I ended up working with him. And as of right now, as of today, we are working together within that. We're targeting hardscapers, which is different from the HVAC niche that I'm targeting. And I like to think that that's not shiny object syndrome, right? Like, I didn't just quit HVAC because I think it's a bad niche. Truly, I think any niche can work. It's just the process behind it, right? And you have to learn that process. And that is pretty much what I think is going to be everything from, you know, month 4 up to month 12, because I'm in this for the long run, realistically. And so it's just really just learning that data, learning that process and everything behind that. But anyways, my boy, awesome with that. He's putting in a ton of time. We just launched ads a week ago. And the way we launched ads is we basically just took inspiration from Facebook ads library. I'm going to be having a video on my business account that actually audits my business and how I use AI in my business, not just for other businesses. But we used the Meta ad library. We took some ads for inspiration. We started running them. Now, we ran an instant form funnel, and we found that we didn't have many people booking a call. Now, my boy, who I'm working with, he has a connection with someone who's very, very familiar with Facebook ads, very familiar with, you know, sales processes. He runs his own, it's not an AI automation agency, but it's like an AI sales agency. So he automates pretty much everything on the sales end with AI. So he was helping my boy a lot, and we're transitioning into getting rid of the instant form and doing it where we're just getting these people across the line. There's 2 ways that we can do this. And this all comes down to my 6-month AI automation knowledge that I'm learning. It comes down to either high volume and lower quality leads, or low volume and higher quality leads. Now, we want to focus on high volume right now because we want as much experience down as possible, right? We want as much of that proof as we can possible. And we also have a long-term play with this. So we're going to be launching the ads, I believe, this weekend. Again, we paused them to switch that around. But our long-term play with this is we want to have as much success and results as possible within our agency that we can then build a community around and give the free knowledge to business owners that want to implement this. Now, the AI automation just space, right? As much as it's unfortunate to see, all of these people have not run ads. If you see videos of people saying, I made $1,000 or I made $100,000 last month selling AI to local businesses, they are lying, right? That is their course money. That is their info product money. They do not run any agencies of themselves. Like, I'm not going to name drop, but everybody in the space, I know maybe one person who actually runs an agency and actually runs ads to help people with it. Everyone else sells you the base knowledge and basically how to do it. Then they profit from that. I'll give you an example. One guy I saw, I'm not going to name drop, but on Instagram, if you've seen his reels, it's like he starts with a hook of a famous person talking about AI. And then he says, you know, this is a good idea, but they never tell you how to do it. So you're not going to want to go to this. You're not going to want to do this, right? It's just like a funny way to do it. It goes viral though. It goes viral. It's a viral template. He posted a results screenshot on his story, and it was like $53,000 that month he made selling AI to local businesses. We found a school community of paid people. It was like $97 a month. We times 97 by the amount of members in the group, and it equaled the screenshot he owed. And that is for everyone, right? There are so little people that are actually giving information backed with results that me and my boy, our play is to get as much results as we can, and then market that. Not necessarily market that, but just build a community around that and around those results that truly have value, and have value that outpaces all of these other people. These people are marketers, which you need to be marketers, right? You need to market your stuff correctly, and they do that very well. I am not at any sense, faulting them or making fun of them for that. They're damn good marketers, and they made money because of it. But at the end of the day, if we can market that behind real experience, We think that we can have a lot of success with that and build that passive income of a low ticket community that hopefully we will shift into another business model on top of our agency. So that's really the 6-month review, honest review on the AI agency that I've been running. It's a lot of it is really just stepping back and looking for the long term on this. Going into this, I was thinking I'm going to make $100,000 in the first 3 months and no sales experience, no funnel experience, no nothing. But, you know, I'm humbly learning and accepting this. And furthermore, I'm learning and accepting all of this in a productive way that sets me up for the long term. You know, let's say 6 months from now, 3 months from now, I'm able to build a community. I'm able to build an agency that is truly profitable, that is truly giving real, you know, over the top value for people. And they will see that. It'll reflect on my brand. It'll reflect on what I can sell. It'll reflect on all the results that I can give. And I'll become an authority in the space. Now, that's my long-term play, but that is an honest review of my AI agency. A lot of people are doing it, but not many people are really doing it, you know, with results back to do that. And I think that that's an area in the market where me and my boy can really take advantage of. With everything, thank you for watching. If you want to drop a subscribe and follow my journey as I progress within this, I'm telling you, by the end of 2025, I will be an authority in this space. I will be making significant money. I'm not saying this to be cocky, but I truly see an outlet forward, and I'm going to capitalize on that with 100% of my energy possible. So with that, again, follow the journey. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.